We continue our coverage of Hurricane Milton, which made landfall last night near Sarasota, Florida. First Light this morning revealed substantial damage south of Tampa Bay. Joining us now from Sarasota is Republican Congressman. His name is Greg Steube. He lives in Sarasota and represents the region in Washington. Congressman Steube, thank you so much for joining us. I saw an amazing interview. We're glad you're here because there's lots to discuss. I saw an interesting interview with someone who lives in Sarasota. She said she lives on the 3rd floor. She was worried about getting out. She lives a mile from the beach. That's how bad the water was. She said it looked like whitewater rafting. When you hear stories like that, I'm curious about what the conditions are now and what do you need now?
Conditions now, obviously the storm surge has receded. We cannot, locally, there's a bridge going out to Lido Key that's damaged. Emergency responders have not been able to get to Lombo Key. It's my understanding there's a couple hundred people on both Lido and Lombo that there's no access to them right now until some of these repairs are made. And that's why it is so important. I watched the mayor's interview before me, and he's right. Like, people have to heed these evacuation orders because you have people, like you're saying, this person a mile from the beach that should have evacuated, that didn't evacuate. And if they need services, emergency responders can't get to them. They just physically can't get to them. So a lot of people did evacuate this time because they saw the damage that we had with Hurricane Helene and saw the damage we had 2 years ago with Hurricane Ian. The heartbreaking thing about this for my district is we were literally recovering from Hurricane Helene. I was going and touring businesses that were ripping out drywall. I helped a family rip out drywall who were just flooded a little over a week ago, and those same areas got flooded again. Punta Gorda got flooded again. So those businesses and homes that were trying to rebound from Hurricane Helene just got flooded again, and it's heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah, you certainly got a 1-2 punch, Congressman. So I'm curious about the resources that are available right now for people in your area. Do you have what you need?
Yeah. Yes, 50,000 linemen are staged. So most of my counties, most of my district does not have power. Cell towers are down. Communication is very bad. So we've got 400 National Guards staged in Sarasota at Riverview High School. They've been activated. Now that the winds have died down, emergency responders can get to where they can get to. Linemen can get to where they can get to. But I will tell people it's going to take time for power to get restored and for things to get back to normal because we have so many people without power. Most people have got the things, food and water, that they needed before the storm hit. But we have National Guard, linemen, and everybody staged for people that need something quickly.
Congressman, the reality of hurricane coverage is that there's often a lag, sometimes a 12-hour lag, sometimes even more, before you really have a sense of who was hit the hardest and how bad it really is. What's your gut say right now about what we know of the current situation and what we're still waiting to find out?
Yeah, so my district got hit with the eye. So the eye was from about like Siesta Key down to Venice. So we got the worst of the wind. The eye went over my house, so it was blowing at 100 miles an hour north, and then you get to the eye, and then as the eye passes, it was blowing to 100 miles an hour to the south. So Sarasota probably got the highest wind damages. You saw 102 miles per hour that were recorded at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. South of us, though, got the worst of the storm surge. So Charlotte County, Punta Gorda, North Fort Myers, that area that had been flooded during Hurricane Ian, and Punta Gorda that was flooded in Hurricane Helene a couple weeks ago got flooded again. So there's going to be a lot of trees down, which means a lot of power lines down, which means it's going to take a while to get that power back. In Sarasota County, in Charlotte County, they got much more of the storm surge on the coastal areas. We didn't see as much rain with this as we did with Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. It's not as bad of flooding as we have seen with Debbie and some of the other storms recently. So that's a good thing. That means that our residents can at least get on the roadways and drive where they need to drive and get to where they need to get to.
Congressman Greg Steube, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, with Helene, remember we had, we're not sure if anyone lost their life, and then it was 20, and then it was 50, and then it was 100, and now we're over 200. And that was days later. I mean, we're still counting up the damage. And so you wonder, is this going to happen here? That's kind of what you wait for.
Yeah, no doubt.
You made a point of saying, and it's true, you don't know really what you're dealing with until a couple of days, sometimes weeks later.
Yeah.